Attention passionate Seattle Seahawks fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC West and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Seattle Seahawks' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Seattle Seahawks fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Seattle SEAHAWKS fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you're like me, you love a good dramatic twist in the NFL, especially when it comes to your beloved Seahawks. And trust me, what's unfolding right now is nothing short of explosive. There's whispers around the league, coming from some of the most reliable sources, including Adam Schefter, that the Miami Dolphins are seriously contemplating a blockbuster trade that could reshape their entire roster and quite possibly the NFC landscape. And guess what? The Seahawks are right in the middle of this storm with a chance to benefit immensely from these seismic shifts. So let's unpack this whole scenario piece by piece because it's not just a rumor, it's a potential game changer. First, let's talk about the Dolphins, a team that has been battling inconsistency all season long. They're sitting at a disappointing 2-5 record, and their defense, which was supposed to be a strength, is giving up about 27 points per game. That's not going to cut it if Miami truly wants to contend, especially in a division as tough as the AFC East. And the big news. They're considering trading on a chain, the young, explosive running back out of Texas A&M, in a move that would send shockwaves across the league. According to insiders, Miami is eyeing a package that includes a first-round pick in 2026 and a fourth-round pick in 2025. That's a hefty price, but it shows just how much they're willing to rebuild quickly to shake off this rough start and set a new course. Now, why a chain? Well, he's a player who's been making waves, especially with his speed and explosiveness. He's a Pro Bowl alternate for 2023, and his stats are eye-popping. Over his career, he's amassed around 800 rushing yards and 25 touchdowns, averaging over 6 yards per carry. And this season, he's been a real spark for Miami, rushing for 850 yards on just 120 attempts, with an average of 7 yards per carry and scoring 8 touchdowns. Plus, his yards after contact, or YAC, are off the charts at 5.2 yards per attempt. And let's not forget his top-end speed. Clocked at 22 mph, he's a genuine home run threat every time he touches the ball. His ability to burst through defenses, break tackles, and turn small gains into big plays makes him one of the most exciting young talents in the league. But Miami's motivation for this move isn't just about a chain's talent. They're facing a serious cap crunch, with a projected $9 million in cap space being eaten up for 2026. Plus, their offensive line has struggled to protect quarterback Tua Tagovailoa and open lanes for their running game, allowing around 130 rushing yards per game. This trade would free up cap space, giving them options to extend players like linebacker Phillips or add key pieces to bolster their defense. The idea is to make a strategic rebuild, focusing on acquiring draft assets that can help them rebuild the roster from the ground up. Meanwhile, the Seahawks are closely watching this unfolding drama. With roughly $21 million in cap space and a roster that's been working hard but still has areas to improve, especially in the backfield, they see a golden opportunity. Seattle has a versatile backfield, featuring Kenneth Walker III and Charbonnet. Walker, with his 4.3 yards per carry, and Charbonnet averaging 3.8 yards have been solid, but adding a player like a chain could be a game changer. His speed and ability to change the pace of the game would complement Walker's power and Charbonnet's balance perfectly, creating a dynamic trio that defenses would struggle to contain. This potential trade, if it goes through, could have enormous implications for Seattle's offense. A chain's explosiveness would elevate the Seahawks' EPA per run by a staggering 22%, pushing their projected total rushing yards for the season over 1-0. Imagine what that would do for Geno Smith, who's been a steady presence at quarterback. His RPO run-pass option game would get a significant boost, with a chain's speed opening up more options for big plays. We're talking about a player who in 2025 has already shown flashes of brilliance, scoring 2 touchdowns against the Patriots in Week 5 and racking up 142 rushing yards on just 15 carries, an incredible display of burst and acceleration. But it's not just about the rushing game. Chain's YAC, yards after contact, could increase by about 20%, turning small gains into massive plays and forcing defenses to respect the Seahawks' running attack even more. And with Geno Smith orchestrating the offense, this addition could turn Seattle into one of the most balanced teams in the league. Their third down efficiency, currently at 38%, could jump to around 45%, thanks to the mismatches a chain would create out of the backfield. This means more sustained drives, more scoring opportunities, and ultimately, a better shot at competing deep into the playoffs. And speaking of playoffs, the impact here is huge. If Seattle manages to acquire a chain, their odds of making a deep postseason run skyrocket. Right now, their Super Bowl odds are around plus 2,500, but with a chain in the fold, those odds could improve dramatically, potentially dropping to plus 1,000, making them a real dark horse contender in the NFC. And when you compare that to teams like the 49ers, who are still the favorites at plus 600, it's clear that the Seahawks could be positioning themselves for a serious run. A chain's speed, reminiscent of a younger Alvin Kamara, would add not just a change of pace but a true X-factor for the Seahawks, especially in colder playoff conditions, where ground attacks and speed become even more critical. This move also signals a shift in the Seahawks' long-term strategy. With a roster that's been competitive but needs that extra spark, they're now looking at a future where speed and versatility are central. This echoes the legacy of the Legion of Boom, but in a new, modern way, focusing on speed, hybrid playmakers, and a balanced attack. Coach Pete Carroll has always emphasized adaptability and grit, and adding a player like a chain fits perfectly into that blueprint. Looking ahead, if this trade happens, it could set off a chain reaction of events. The Seahawks' rush ranking could jump from around 15th to top 5 in the league, transforming their offense into a more balanced, unpredictable unit. Their win probability could increase by around 15%, and they'd be better equipped to handle tough defenses and cold-weather games. Defensively, gaining possession extra minutes per game, about 5 minutes more, would help keep their defense fresh and reduce points allowed, potentially bringing that number down from 21 to 18 per game. Of course, all this hinges on whether the Dolphins actually pull the trigger. But the signs are there, and the NFL's rumor mill is swirling with this possibility. If it materializes, it's going to be one of the most exciting moves of the season, and Seahawks fans, you should be paying close attention. This could be the move that propels Seattle into a new era of speed and explosiveness, reminiscent of the glory days but with a fresh, modern twist. Now, in terms of the larger picture, this trade could totally reconfigure the NFC West landscape. The 49ers are still considered the favorites, but with a chain adding that extra gear, the Seahawks could close the gap significantly. It's not just about winning games, it's about setting a tone, establishing a new identity, one built on speed, versatility, and strategic agility. Imagine a Seahawks team that's not just running the ball but outrunning defenses, creating mismatches on every down and turning the clock in their favor. That's the kind of team that can make a real Super Bowl push. And looking at the bigger picture, this potential move also speaks to the strategic mindset of the Seahawks front office. They're always looking for ways to adapt, to stay ahead of the curve, and this kind of aggressive maneuver shows that they're willing to make bold moves when the opportunity arises. With a talented roster, a solid defense, and now, possibly, a new weapon in a chain, the Seahawks are positioning themselves as serious contenders for the rest of this season and beyond. So, folks, it's an exciting time to be a Seahawks fan. Keep your eyes on this story because if it unfolds as expected, we're looking at a team that's about to enter a new chapter, faster, more explosive, and more dangerous than ever. This isn't just about one trade. It's about a shift in identity, a statement that the Seahawks are here to contend, to shock, and to make noise in the postseason. And remember, the NFL is always full of surprises, so stay tuned because what's coming could redefine everything we thought we knew about this team. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Seattle Seahawks news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And finally, I want to hear from you, Seahawks fans. What's your take on this potential trade? Do you think a chain is the missing piece for a Super Bowl run? Or do you believe the Seahawks should focus on other areas? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because your opinion really matters, both to us and to the team. I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Seahawks news. This season is shaping up to be one of the most exciting in recent memory, and with moves like this, the Seahawks are showing they're serious about competing at the highest level. Thanks for listening, and as always, go Seahawks.